Hello and thank you for checking out CourageousCaregiver.org. My name is Curtis Walker. Today I want to talk to you about a question that was given to me. And it was kind of a big question and it took me by surprise, and I really had to think about how I was going to answer. The question was, how does the brain work? Big question. As far as for how the brain works, there's a lot to it. But there's a lot of technical details, and unless a person comes from a very strong scientific and biological background, you'd actually have to have a solid understanding of that to understand how the full intricate detail of the brain works, as far as for the left and right hemisphere, frontal lobe, your cerebral cortexes, your synaptic nerves, your nerve cells, and all that other stuff. But I was thinking, from the way they asked the question, me being a caregiver and also them being a caregiver, I think the question was more so leading into how does the mind work versus how does the brain work? Because when a person is dealing as a caregiver and you're dealing with somebody who has memory impairment, you are really addressing how does the mind think. Now, when it comes to our minds, or more so how everything functions, we're event driven. We have various things that stimulate those events. Pretty much we have input sensors. We have our sight, we have our smell, we have our taste, we have our hearing, and as well as the touch of our skin that gives us information that feed into our mind. And pretty much every time we have events take place through those senses, it gives our minds an interpretation of what that means. So when we see certain things, our minds develop an interpretation of whether we like it, dislike it, does it bring joy, happiness, or whatever else. The same thing about there's certain smells that we might enjoy, like let's say some people might love the smell of roses. Or, I know me, I've had to change baby diapers, and that's an unpleasant smell. So that actually brought an interpretation of unpleasant, situation. But based off the stimulus that you get from your five senses, that determines how you're going to interpret what that event is. Now, with that coming into play, it's always driven by what we've experienced in the past that determines how we're going to interpret the current, or the present. Now, with that coming into play, that also drives what we do next. As you receive input, just look at it in terms like a computer. A computer has input where you're sitting in front of a keyboard. Your computer has a way to process information that you're typing in as far as what to do with it. Then it produces some form of an output, like you have a monitor or a screen that gives you feedback on what's taking place. That's part of your output. And the same thing with us, with a healthy brain, you're getting input, process it, give it output. And then there's a certain path or flow of how you're actually going to handle certain situations. But we also have what we call overrides. Now, there's certain things, like I'm going to say a person's initiative. Like, let's say you've been accustomed to being, I'm going to say, not so energetic. Some people call it lazy. But let's say you're accustomed to being lazy in life and your approach to handling things. But let's say you've had some current experiences that has inspired you to be more than lazy, to develop energy. Let's say you want to work out. Let's say, you've been a person who's overweight and now you're determined to work out to lose that weight and get better. Now, that is your initiative, or I'm going to say also your passion, that may actually change the way that you're accustomed to functioning. And that actually provides an override. Now, that's pretty much how it functions with a healthy brain. As a person becomes memory impaired, they actually lose initiative. Their five senses don't even function normal, so as you receive input, it becomes a little bit skewed as far as how your brain can interpret what it's receiving. So then most people have a almost normal response to certain input. Well, when somebody actually is functioning with memory impairment, their normal response becomes skewed and twisted over time. And then those with normal brains watching somebody with memory impairment, looking at it from an outside point of view, we interpret that as being sick, weird, or abnormal. So hopefully with what I'm explaining to you is that, you know, there is a difference between a healthy brain and memory impaired brain as far as processing information, or more so processing the way you think. And I'm going to say, as a caregiver, one of the greatest tools that I've learned to help me a lot: understanding and patience. Accept with the transition that your loved one is going through, but really work on patience and understanding so that you can learn how to cope best with what you're going to experience with where dementia or Alzheimer's is going to take you. So hopefully this video has helped you. I'm going to be producing a lot more videos, so please keep checking back and also leave a comment. Also, I'm going to be on Facebook, so watch for me on Facebook. There's probably going to be a link next to this video, but click it, check it out. But pretty much, I thank you for giving me your time and just being here with me during this moment. Hope you have yourself a great day and take care.